By definition, adoration is a deep love and respect paid to someone or something that we admire. And looking at the Christian worldview, for example, Christians pay or show deep love and respect to God, um, because He's a divine being. And in the Bible, adoration is required for all or anyone who professes to love God. And worship means to declare worth or pay homage. We could also say that worship is a quality of or having worth or being worthy. And in regards to Christians, it would be God being worthy of our praise and our adoration, and that's why we give it to Him. So we worship Him because He's attributed to being worthy of it. And we could also say that adoration is similar to worship, and we could also say that worship is adoration because, like we said, worship is um, means to declare worth or pay homage. Adoration is to show love and respect. So we worship God by showing Him adoration. We worship God by showing Him the love that we have for Him and the respect that we have for Him.
To first define the worship of power, one needs to define what power is. Power is the ability to do, to create an effect on the world around us. The more power one has, the greater their ability to do things. The worship of power is the idolizing of the ability to do and of those in the position to exert power over others. This worship, this devotion to being powerful or to those in power, can lead to devastating consequences as it pulls worship away from the Creator.
Society pushes the worship of power. A large proportion of the human race, it is true, is obliged to work so hard in obtaining necessaries that little energy is left over for other purpose. So society has created this ideal where you need to become the very best that you can be. And in order to achieve that fulfillment of having that glory from being the best you can be, you need power. People need power. And there's different forms of power. There's economic power, which can come in the form of money, education, and just being able to purchase anything that you want, because that gives them freedom, that gives them power, and they need that power for that sort of freedom. And there's also power through opinion. You can have power through your own opinion, validate yourself. You can have self-esteem, self-confidence from that, and ultimately from people validating your opinion, you can create an influential network where you can influence other people. And there's also spiritual power, which is fulfillment through God and belonging, having a purpose through Him, and gaining that sort of power. And a lot of that correlates to social power, in which people attain class privilege, socioeconomic privilege, and overall just allows them to become the most powerful that they can be.
For my portion of this project, we'll be examining the patterns of worship and of power. Throughout the centuries, humans have worshipped those in power. Some really common examples of this are Egyptian pharaohs, the kings throughout the years, whether that's Great Britain, France, different places like that. And especially now, today, what we see a lot of those being worshipped who are in power are political figures. People have worshipped those in power, especially in the older days, because they believed that they were picked by God or that they had some divine status that made it to where they needed to praise these people. We also see this in the Bible where, different people groups are praising different kings, and the Israelites and the followers of Jesus are saying no to following those in power to pursue their relationship with God.
All right, so dehumanization is to strip away a person's humanity, because one thing we all are is humans. So to strip away in your mind that someone is human, and to see them as completely different than you, a different species, putting them on the same level as an animal or a god, depending on which way you're doing it. It's very harmful to them. It's very harmful to you. That's what dehumanization is. Again, it can happen both ways. But dehumanization is just to strip away the fact in your mind that someone is a human, putting them on a completely different playing field than you, even though in reality we are all human, and this should not be done.
Worship of power leads to dehumanization, and this means that both the powerful and the powerless suffer because their perceived power correlates to their value. If power is worshipped, then people are viewed by their level of power in the social hierarchy instead of having intrinsic value as human beings. This is seen in hierarchies in the workplace, as value is correlated to the chain of command. It correlates to socioeconomic dimensions as it pertains to certain classes, such as those that have to do with money or other forms of privilege. And within the domestic atmosphere, as it can correlate through a family member's role, such as the husband and father having more power than the mother and wife or his children. And with that said, here are our references. Thank you so much for watching.